Hey, BassGeek here. And after owning my Caymas CX20 for a little while, really putting it through its rigors, I want to tell you what I like, what I love, and what I wish they'd change about it. So after having my CX20 for a little while, really getting it broke in, really getting it ran, this boat has done me right. I've had some really good days fishing out of this boat. I really want to tell you guys what I like about the boat, what accessories I've added to it that I can and cannot live without, and the things that maybe I'll do better on my next boat or change, and maybe some things that I would suggest to Caymas accessory makers that they might tweak out a little bit. All right, geeks, let's start at the beginning, right up here where the money is made, where us anglers like to be, and that's on the bow, making casts, catching bass, right? So let's talk about it. The tongue. I love the swing away tongue. It makes it so much easier when I need to work on things up front, maybe drop the GARMIN, get it out of my way, worth every penny that I don't know that I paid for, right? I'm not sure if that's like an extra, so I'll just be honest with you. Other than that, let's talk about the boat effects. Let's talk about the boom step, and let's talk about the steps. Guys, you have heard me in multiple videos tell you all, look, I'm older, and I'm going to tell you right now, this boat sits way higher on the trailer than old Ruby did. She is extremely hard to get into. Steps are a must if you're loading and unloading, especially if you fish in cold water like me, especially if you fish by yourself. As you're getting older, you know, it's going to save you your knees, your hips, maybe falling off the boat, hurting, or even worse, which I know of a couple of guys that unfortunately, as they've gotten older, have lost their lives doing some winter fishing because they didn't have steps. And we know how things can get slick and dangerous, and these guys died right at the boat ramp. Invest in yourself, your body, your safety. Pick up some of these steps, especially that Boma step. I'm telling you, even the guys at Watson's, big shout out to Watson's Marine. If you're interested in picking up a Caymas, that's where you definitely want to go. Rex, man, he designed this color scheme for me. You guys voted on it. This is what won, and I love it. Definitely give Watson's Marine a shout out. Now, let's talk about the GARMIN Force trolling motor. The trolling motor, definitely something that'll be on every boat I ever own from here on out. That thing would plane out the old red boat. It is so stout. But what I love about it being stout, it's also quiet, it's smooth, and it's quiet. I mean, I've not used one that is that quiet, that don't rattle, shake, squeak, and you know, whatever. It is great. The best trolling motor so far that I have used. Let's talk about my foresight. Now, this is my mount that I use for my forward-facing sonar. Now, I don't use it all the time. If I am fishing down banks and I just want to turn it to 45 degrees, if I'm fishing brush piles, if I'm fishing for bass that are setting still, so to speak, this is on. And what I love about it is that I can change it on the fly, on the water, less than 2 minutes. Quick, simple, easy. Now, when I'm not, and I'm chasing these fish around in open water, I want my transducer to be on my trolling motor so that I can chase them down and get to them. Again, the reason why I love my foresight. Now, the one thing, we're gonna get to the first thing that I would change. I love the pedal. I love the wireless pedal for foresight. It's aluminum, it's durable, it's tough, it works great. As far as function, it works perfect. It's a little tall. So when you're using your foot and you're standing on your heel and you want to press, you almost have to raise your heel up and kind of press it with your tiptoe. I wish they would maybe run it down a little bit, but thanks to Ashmore Marine, they sent me one of their stomp stations, which I also have installed on here for my power poles. And listen, the power pole buttons, an absolute must have. Love those on the front, but I also installed a stomp station which gives it just a little bit more tilt and makes it a little more ergonomically friendly. Those are things that I love. Let's talk about the graphs. So the graphs for me, you'll notice I went with 2 different graphs. And the reason why I went with 2 different graphs on the front is simply for your all's benefit. So the GPS, I did 2 12s. I did a GPS maps, and that is a 1222. So it's a standalone, but it allows me to use Active Captain to record my sonar so that you guys can watch it. And there's a lot of benefits to that. Like when I'm talking about retrieves, I can actually show you what the bait looks like underwater. I can show you how fish react to it. So even if you don't have forward-facing sonar, I can help you by showing you how baits look underwater. It's a huge benefit for that reason. Now here's one of the things I don't like. Everywhere else, I've got the Echo Maps 126 SVs. Those are great. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna skip ahead to the console real quick, but those two 12s on the console, you're not gonna do better. Side imaging, I haven't missed a thing, and I've gone through the frequency ranges for chirp on my side and down image, and they are beautiful. And I find fish on them all the time. If you're thinking about going to GARMIN and maybe leaving some other people, highly suggested. Again, I'll state this because I've heard it from 4 different rigging companies and marine dealers. GARMIN is the most reliable brand. Literally, I was told at one point in time that some of the other brands, you could put 3 on a boat and one of them will never work right. With GARMIN's, you put them on and they work, and I'll attest to it. I have had 0 issue out of any of them. I am going to give it a little bit of a knock because there's so many things that I could do that would save me time finding fish. I really wish you could record through Active Captain, and I'm sure they've heard this a lot, on the Echo Maps. I don't understand why it's not available. I think it's just, I'm just going to say it, it's stupid. I am an IT guy, I know programmers, and for whatever reason, why they don't let it happen, it's dumb. Fix it, GARMIN, fix it. Other than that, love them. Because of that, I want to get those videos to help you guys out, show you how good that GARMIN live scope is, but I can't communicate between my graphs. So I can't share my live scope up to my console while I've got my trolling motor down, looking around using my foresight, right? It limits me a little bit and it costs me a little bit of time. It's just an annoyance, but it works. Now we go back to boat effects, and of course my graph, all the locks, and what's great, and they're on the way and I can't wait to get them, is now because the Echo Maps literally come loose, they've got a lock for those. So I can't wait to get those on the boat. That's going to be an awesome little add-on to the graph mounts that they've got me on the front. The other thing on the Caymas side, the live well control switches on the bow of the boat. Man, you go back there, you drop some fish in, you need to cut off the live well pump in or resert because you're fishing. You can do it right up here. You ain't got to stop fishing, run back there, lose your school if you're using your live scope. You can just reach up with your foot and tap it. Live wells turned on, off, sideways. Whatever you need them to do, you do it all from the bow of the boat. That is an impressive add-on on the bow switch panel. So now we're up here, we're on the front casting deck, and guys, one of the things that I can tell you, being a fat boy, yes, I have lost weight. Some of you guys have noticed that, and I appreciate that. I've lost 50 pounds. So 50 pounds down this year. I was at 345. I'm now at 295. Yeah, I feel better. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I feel better. I like food and I like beer, it just happens. But all that being said, I love the padded deck. Now, when I say padded deck, I don't mean that this deck is, or the casting portion of the deck is padded. I mean the entire front deck, the boxes, the whole 9 yards, the lids, all padded on the front of a Caymas. Standard. That's not an add-in. That's how they come. So I love that. The other thing I do have to say, if you guys haven't noticed in videos, I had an accident way back in the day. I used to work on the railroad, and I've lost a big toe. I can't wear flops fishing. So I do like to try and get my feet a little bit of tan. So when we go to the beach, it don't look like I'm always wearing socks out on the beach. So I'll go barefoot. The Boat Effects foam that goes on my pedal for my trolling motor keeps that black pedal from getting 2 million degrees and melting the skin off the bottom of my feet, so I can stand out here a lot longer. And what's odd, like on the Triton where there was no padding whatsoever, that boat, the carpet would get too hot, I guess, because there's nothing in between the fiberglass underneath it and the carpet itself. So I couldn't go barefoot. I get to go barefoot a lot. Sorry if that freaks a bunch of you guys out, but I do really like it. Now the other thing, the rod lockers, Guys, I've got a million rods in these things. I love them. They don't have carpet. They've got a nice little anti-scratch on the bottom. It's great. I put a bunch of them in. Even on the 20, you've got a little day box over here, which I love. Now you do have to kind of take it out, because if you're getting like more rods, or, you know, I put casting, spinning, so I carry a lot of rods with me. You guys may use this more for storage, so the day box may not be that big of a deal for you all. I do love it though. Love the rod lockers, love the center console. You can fit a ton of stuff in this thing. It's nice and deep and long. You can even store a few rods in there also. That's really what I like up here so far. Now, let's get to the cockpit, and I'm gonna tell you what I love, what I like, and what I would definitely change here. Okay, so now we're gonna really talk about the cockpit. I'm gonna tell you the things that I love about this. I love the passenger side. You got the OS handle right here. You guys will know what that means. I love the cleats in the middle of the boat, the retractable. That's great. You can just pull up, tie up. I love this little thing. Believe it or not, nothing seems to fly out of it. Like, yeah, maybe packaging or plastic if you leave that up there, but nothing flies out of it. I mean, I've got soft baits, treble hooks. I guess it's just the way the deck blocks it, but it's a great place. It's even got a little drain right there that keeps, you know, everything dry. And so, I mean, that's money. That is money. I love the little flat spot here. You can kind of set things apart, or you can set more rods, more reels up here. A lot of room in the cockpit, a lot of room. I love the drawer. You know, I store a lot of my scents, that sort of stuff. I don't think it's waterproof, but it is lockable. I don't think I've ever seen anything get wet in it, so I don't really remember, but I love the drawer. It's a big, long drawer. You can store a ton of stuff in it that I like. Store my scales, scents, reel spray. My Avid Angler glue is in there, my markers, that sort of stuff. Nice, easy, convenient to get to. Now, let's move on over. I even love the way the steps are made. Now, I don't know if they're this way on the 21, but I'm a short feller, and I've been in other boats. I'm going to say AJ. AJ is a big guy. He's like 6'7", I believe. I don't know. He's a big dude. He's tall. He's like probably 6'4", 6'5", something like that. He's got long legs. Stepping off that boat that he was in, I'm not gonna mention the manufacturer, but stepping off that boat that he was in, that he had, I'm a short-legged feller. It jammed my back a whole lot. I'm a short-legged fat feller. So, you know, it was a long way down for me. But I love the steps because I don't even have to come down and step in the cockpit to get to the back deck on here. I can literally step from the step on the cooler to the step here in the middle and right back up. It's not a long step. I don't know if it's a little longer, if there's more room in here in the 21s, but you know, I can be to the front to the back pretty quick. And the truth is, this is a 21-foot boat. I mean, it's a 20, but their 20s are legitimately 21 feet. Their 21s are actually 22-foot boats. But anyway, all that being said, this is going to kind of bring us to the one thing that Caymas, man, I fish a lot during the midday of summer. I don't do a lot of night fishing, and I need y'all to fix your cooler. It won't hold ice. I mean, mine won't hold ice at all. If it's 76 degrees in the morning and we pack it full of ice, and we've got a 15-minute drive from the store to the, it's gone. I mean, it's gone. That's probably my biggest gripe about this boat. I need to get that cooler fixed. I don't know what's going on with it, but that's probably my biggest gripe. I mean, I couldn't be happier about this boat, but I do fish a lot during hot weather in the summer, and you know, fat boy gotta hydrate. So now let's talk about the business end in the cockpit. So I got my 212s. These are my GARMINs. Love them. Got them mounted up here. You know, I love everything about this. I'm gonna talk to you about the seats here in just a minute, but yeah, good stuff. You've got a single smart gauge, which I do love. Now, it takes a little bit of calibration to get things just right, because it is I don't remember exactly what it's called, a Mercury Smart Craft. You know, it's designed to keep you from blowing up your motor, and it won't necessarily let you trim all the way up. You can go in there and fix that. There's also been some problems with the fuel, but the biggest thing is go in, fill it all the way up, or literally run it out of gas. You know, I'll get out, and when I know it's low, I'll run it pretty low. I went ahead and calibrated it. But I mean, that's a minor problem. But again, you know, beautiful Caymas steering wheel. You know, we've got the jack plate on this side. We've got the trim on this side from TH Marine. Absolutely must have, I'm telling you. A hydraulic jack plate, if you're buying a new boat, get the hydraulic jack plate. It's worth every single dime. It is gonna help your performance so daggone much. From cornering to taking off in shallow water, planing out faster. Once you learn it, and I'm still in the process of learning it because I've never had one until now, but it's been huge, especially with full tournament load. You can get it up on plane. Full tournament load, me, Jeremy, live wells full of water and bass. You got 600 pounds or plus of guys in here, plus all the water. It's incredible, right? Something else that I love in the console is I've got this little door right here. It's got built-in chargers on it, so I keep, you know, it's watertight. The little glove box. I keep my other phone that I use to record. My forward-facing sonar is in there and it's running all the time, even when it's raining. AirPods in there, let them charge, so it's got dual chargers in there. I could run one up here to a camera. Again, old boat didn't have that. Love the recessed light, so you don't have to have the pole on the front. The back light, it stores in this locker up against it's got two holders. That's awesome. It's not in the way and laying on the bottom, you know, if you're throwing wet rods in there. I love the center console. Now, here's something, when you buy these boats and you keep them, here's something that I truly love. So I love the foam deck here. It stays extremely dry. It dries fast. I sit right there a lot and I'll sit right here a lot. So they both dry fast. This dries fast. They have great drainage in the floor of this boat too. Literally, there's grates under each seat, and that's incredible to keep that water pumped out of the cockpit area. Love this middle section, and one thing about the middle storage box is that you take the screws out and your sending unit, so anything you need to work on the fuel tank, which is right here, that fuel tank has been moved right here. If you'll notice, the fuel cap is actually almost in the middle of the boat. And the reason why that is they've dead centered to help with ballast, control, and getting this boat up on plane. So they put it right here. And so if you have to work on, say you're after so many years, I mean, they last forever, your sending unit or something needs to be changed, you just take this out and there's about 6-8 screws there. Just pull it out, unscrew it, take it out, put a new one in. That simple. This is what I love about Caymas. They have really thought about user-friendly access to be able to work on a lot of things. Well, let's talk about the control panel. Now, you'll see on the control panel right above it, I've got me another little key fob for my power poles. Love having that there. Perfect place to put it. I think if you order one with a radio, they'll cut that out and it goes right there. But I don't have a radio in mine. I may get one next year. I don't know. I probably never listen to it. It'd probably be a waste, but I may get one next time. But all that being said, that little key fob for the power poles, I just stuck it there, you know, with some double-sided tape, man. It stays there, never have a problem. And then the control panel. I know on some of the older boats, the original control panel they were having issues out of, not this one. They upgraded it, they made some changes, and it has been straight, flat, fantastic. So you guys that maybe have the old control panels, you might want to talk to Caymas and see if they can get you one of the new ones. I think they pretty much fit, but don't hold me to that. Now, let's talk about the seats. Number one, these seats are the smoothest riding seats. They actually have springs in them, so it's not just cushioned. They're beautiful seats, hand sewn. If you haven't seen the tour of the Caymas factory that we did, they are hand sewn in the USA. I think I can tell you that they've even put more springs in and they made the seats wider for us big boys. So that's something I'm looking forward to. These are hands down the best seats on the market. They are raised a little bit too, which I do like, and they have adjustments so you can slide them up and slide them back. I love that fact. And the other thing, a hot foot. Guys, get a hot foot. And then make sure you get your Boat Effects padding for your hot foot. That way, again, like if you like to drive barefoot, or it really keeps you from slipping too. It dries quickly where it's just that metal. Without it, a little bit of a safety feature. I mean, I know some of you guys might like to drive with the control, but the hot foot, man, to me, it's a must have. So make sure you order one with that hot foot too. From the console to the back deck. Just behind the passenger seat, I love the net that they put back there. The net for me is a little deep. It is the rubber coated net, so you don't have to worry about it getting tangled up or getting caught in the actual threading, but it's so big, the net is so deep. For bass anglers, I wish it was a little bit shallower of a net, but I love the net. I love how it folds up. I love how it stores. It's a great addition. It's out of the way, but it's quick and it's handy, and it's easy to show how to get it out and how to use it. Pretty simple. Love where it's stored as opposed to some other boats. I know there's some other boats out there that they store kind of in the floor, and that seems like a good idea until you need to get it out in a hurry. All right, so I'm sitting in one of the things I absolutely love. Sometimes I'll get out there and I will look around for bass using my force trolling motor. And sometimes when you're doing that, this seat right here is the deal. So the story goes on this seat is that it was actually designed specifically for Earl bends. And you know, me and Earl share an issue, and that is we got some back issues. And this seat right here, trust me, it alleviates that. You can sit here, you can fish, you can troll around. I love it. One of the things on the front deck I actually left out is there's 2 positions for the seat. So if you got a butt, you want to sit a little bit back, or you want to sit right up on your trolling motor, they're there. And then, by the way, don't forget to check out the Boat Effects seat plugs that helps keep that water from getting down in there. And they match the boat too. I love Boat Effects for that. Matches the boat. On the back deck, what I love the live wells. They're big, they're open. So I did order this boat with a high-speed pickup because, you know, as you're making a long run down the lake, what happens is sometimes your water will drain out. You'll beat your fish up. The great thing about this is there's a high-speed pickup in there. You just turn the valve on and it pumps water, more water the faster you go. So you don't have to worry about losing water. You can keep those live wells filled and keep those bass taken care of. Huge storage compartments back here, which is something that I had on Old Ruby, and I love my storage compartments back here. They're big. I can store a ton of stuff back here. The co-angler can store a ton of stuff back here. Now we get to the true business end of the deal. Guys, I always say you can tell how well a boat is built by the battery compartment. And this battery compartment is completely finished. And what I mean by finished is it's not just the fiberglass. They have put in shelving. They've got, of course, and I know a lot of boats come with these, but you've got storage areas. You've got 2 little access doors to get to your pumps, whether it be bilge or live wells. Easy maintenance. It looks good. They've got areas for your pumps, for your power poles, your battery storeway, but they're easy to get to. And there's still a ton of room in this. Your battery charger's in here, depending on the type of live well aeration system that you have. Plenty of room in here, and still a ton of room to store props or tools or anything else you want to put back here. If you see how much work in the design of the battery compartment Caymas puts in, if that don't sell you on a boat, I don't know what does, because that's the part nobody ever thinks about on a boat. Of course, you guys know I fell out of the boat up on Big Cherry, the lake I grew up on, so this does have a ladder. That's one thing I like. Also, it's one thing that I like. Me and Mike, when we were out fishing, we were talking about taking a little swim, so it's easier to get back in, especially, you know, Mike, he could probably jump his skinny little rear end right up in there, but me, it's a little bit of work, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of work to pull me up, but I love that. You got your handle. Listen, best bathrooms on a bass boat there is, non-slip. You can stand right here. Love this, love this. I know a lot of people compare this to other companies, but I'm gonna tell you, if you'll look at these, they're made a little bit different. And the reason why they're made a little bit different is stability. They keep the boat from rolling. They are right at the water line, and so if the boat tilts or another boat goes by, they don't roll as far. They slap that surface of the water and they keep the boat stable. This by far is the most stable boat I've ever fished out of, and it's 100% because of that. It also helps when you're on plane. It helps the stability of them. I do love my power poles. Now I fish Highlands reservoirs, so you know, A lot of it comes down to, I get more use out of them beaching the boat than I do anything else. But I will say this, I made a mistake. It wasn't Power Pole's mistake, it was my mistake, because I do some sight fishing, especially on, you know, Top Secret Lake P here, because it's super clear water. I'm going with 10 footers next year. I got the 8s this time. 10s I think would be the better option for me, because I fish in such steep, deep reservoirs. The Merc, man, the big V8, she's a beast, boys. She is a beast. I've been lucky enough, I haven't had any problems out of her, knock on wood. I know that there's been some issues, little odds and ends, but so far, this one has been the beast. I did replace the stickers to match up, and I replaced the light on the trailer too to match the green, which I love. I think it just sets it off. I think you guys think it sets it off. I do love that. I don't remember where I got them. I'll put that link in the description. I don't work with them or anything. They probably don't know I exist, but I did order them. And they're really easy to do. If you got a heat gun, just, you know, heat them up, they'll pull off, and then take you a little alcohol, clean it up, stick them on. But they've been great too. Love that so far. The Merc has been the money. Now, for you guys that want to know what prop I run, and this is straight from the mouth of my guy, K-Dub. Kyle Welcher was the one that told me, run the 24 pitch Fury prop. I have to say, he's the man. I love it. You're going to get better top speed, and that's why I went. So for you guys that wonder why I went with the 20, again, I talked to Kyle, who's sponsored by Caymas, and he's right. It is still a great ride in big water, but you've also got the top end when you need it. And the 21 doesn't have quite as much top end as the 20 does. That's why I did it. And he's right, man. The lakes that I fish, top end's a little more important. Like, we're not going all out, but I still like to get there in a hurry and in a good ride. Now, something else that I do love that they put in, the Caymas comes with these two, one for the trolling motor, and this is for the main power. Now, Watson's Marine did put me one in for just the electronics. Something that I want to change next year. I'm not running lithiums right now. I just can't justify that price. I would like to. Something that I will change on the next boat that I buy is I will have me a dedicated 16 volt or whatever it is. Anyway, I will have me a dedicated lithium for my graphs. I am running, I believe it's called the Sea Clear in this boat, wiring harness, and the voltage I noticed will drop as the day goes on, and your forward-facing sonar especially will begin to get a little bit fuzzy. Now, it's not been bad, but it's not great either. I don't like that. I want to keep it up there and keep those voltages up so that I can get the clearest pictures that I can get. Now on the console stuff, it's really not, it's not noticeable. They seem to run at about 12 volts or a little bit more all the time. I really think that is important for your forward-facing sonar, my live scope. I have to say, I love the way the hoses and the wiring is nice and clean back here on the engine compartment. I love, love, love the in and out switch for the plug. That is huge. Really, I think that's it. The trailer has been all right. I will tell you something that most people don't know, and I found this out. They have made adjustments on the trailer. I know that there was some problems on the trailers loading them, but I've not had that problem on this one. It's been great. The one thing that I do have, I love the black fenders, but I'll go stainless steel next time. I don't care much for the fiberglass. I'm gonna go stainless steel because you can't stand on these. They're not supported. There's actually a warning right there that says do not step. Even though they've got the grate, I mean, it's for looks, but you will break your fenders off. The stainless steel, whether you like them or you hate them, go with stainless steel. That way, if you want to step up. Of course, you got the boat effects. Again, I recommend not going this way because I fell out of a boat at Dale Hollow and still haven't fully recovered, still having elbow problems because I'm pretty sure I cracked it and my heel. Use your boat effect steps, guys. All right, geeks, I just wanted to update you on the Caymas. Listen, overall, man, I love this boat. This boat makes everything I do easier, and I'm super proud to be part of the Caymas team. From filming to fishing, this boat I have had some incredible days this year in this boat. When I get rid of it, it's going to be a very sentimental thing, which, by the way, we are going to sell the boat. Where I'm with Caymas, we're going to re-up for 2024. So you guys thinking about a boat, hit me up in the email. It's down in the description. I'll let you know what I got to let her go for. Fully loaded, man, to the max. You've seen it. All right, questions and comments in the comment section below. You guys know I love to talk about fishing with you, or I love to talk to you about my Caymas boat. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you geeks hit that bell so that you get the notifications when these videos come out. And as always, you geeks rock.